We are live. Okay. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to our February book talk of the month. I'm Brendan the Beldam, and
Hello, everyone. Forehead Heather here.
And welcome to We're the Weirdos Book Club. I'm gonna take these off now because they're hurting my eyes. I'm trying to I'm sorry about the lighting. I literally had to buy a new lamp, and it's like a smaller one. So I don't know if you can see it over there.
Yeah.
Because my other lamp decided to die on me. Literally, it fell into pieces.
But that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a pain. But that one gets the job done, and it's a cozy little I want to say it's got like a Japanese looking motif to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very feng shui and cozy looking.
That's what I like about it. I kind of like cozy stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, my mom got me this sweater today. I think from Target. What did you think of it? It says horror movies. Horror movies and
how
chill.
Cute! A little pink VHS. That's fun.
I really love it. I love it. It's still freezing outside, and according to the groundhog, I think we're getting 6 more weeks of this, right?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say he saw his shadow. It's supposed to be 6 more weeks of winter, but where I live, it's supposed to be early spring the next 2 weeks in the 50s and 60s for the high. So I think he lied.
It's just, I don't know. It gets cold here in California, but not to the extent where you guys live.
Yeah, it gets cold here in Tennessee, but it's only cold for January and February. We really don't have cold. We have spring, we have summer, we have fall, and then it's just kind of winter is here for 6 to 8 weeks and then it's gone. We don't get snow very often. When we do, it's usually not a lot. So,
yeah, here we have we get 2 months of winter, and then 10 months of the year we get summer.
mm-hmm.
It's hot.
Yeah.
It's always hot here. Once I think once mid-April or May hits, that's when the degrees start to go up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird because we can wear shorts here. I don't own, but probably 2 or 3 long sleeve shirts. And because we were wearing shorts in December and the beginning of January, and then it just got cold enough where you need pants and a long sleeve shirt or a jacket. It's crazy. Yeah, starts getting hot here probably May. And then with the humidity, it's hot from May to November.
I would just personally prefer to wear sweater weather all year round.
Yeah.
Or it's not freezing to where people have no power, but it's just cool enough where it's just not it's not a hot mess, you know?
I live 65 degrees is my preferred temperature. Where it's a little chilly if the wind's up, but it's comfortable.
Yeah. 65 to 70 degrees is my best weather. So
But speaking of weather, we're not talking about spring, summer, fall. We're talking
We're
about
talking
winter.
about
And the
winter.
winter people. Is yours hardback? Do you own that, or is that a library
No,
copy?
it's a library copy.
Oh, okay. I was like, mine's a paperback.
Hmm. So this is a first time read for me. By a first time read by Jennifer McMahon, and I've never read a book by her. And I'm wondering, have you read a book by her before, or is this your first time?
This book I read for the first time 3 years ago,
Hmm.
and this is the only book that I read by her. So I gave this 5 stars the first time I read it 3 years ago. That was when I was just getting back into reading
Sorry, can you hear a dog in the background?
a little, but it's not like distracting. It's good ambience.
Well,
But yeah, and so a reread, I really didn't remember much. So it was almost like reading it for the first time again. Like I remembered the basic setting, I remembered some characters, I remembered the overall plot, but that was pretty much it. I was like, oh no. You would think if it was a 5 star, I would remember more, but I did not. So it felt like a reread.
so was that a 5 star for you on the first read or this read?
First read, it was a 5. This time, I don't know if it was my mood or what. Um, I was more along the lines of a 4 star this time. It didn't hold up as well on reread, but it was still enjoyable. I kept comparing it to Pet Cemetery.
Yeah,
I think that's
I could
I
see
think
like
that's
I could see
why.
those parallels.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is a 4 star read for me. I really really liked it. It's
Yeah, I
like
would say
it was
me
never
too.
like I think I've been reading some uh my reading like the books I've been reading lately have been they've been ranging from oh my I love this to they were just kind of mid
Hmm.
and um when I started it did start off a little bit slow because it was just like building it up,
Hmm.
but once it got going it really like I was completely invested. I was like I really wanted to know like what this journal was all about and who the character who this like what this character was.
Hmm.
uh Sarah Harrison she like I wanted to know more about what her story was. And
Yes.
I guess I found her the stuff with her a little bit more interesting. But I did like the character. I did like um the characters in like the I guess let's call them like story B because this book
Hmm.
takes place in two different timelines, but they're like it's interconnected with each other because this family that moves into this house in West Vermont, um, they discovered this journal. They discover a journal in the house they're living in belonged to the woman whose story is being told in like the past that we're also reading about. And that was just like it's you see like the differences between like the time periods and how
Hmm.
life was a lot harder back then to like compared to like what at this time when they're the modern people are living in their houses like now. I'm just like,
Hmm.
gosh, it's like
Yeah,
a
I think the 1908 timeline with specifically Sarah's journal entries, those were my favorite perspectives
mm,
because you got her, and then you would get a couple of chapters by her husband, Martin. And then once it was starting to get good, and then it would be like, oh, we're going to 2014 in present day, following this other family, and then kind of go from there. It'd be interesting to see if I ever did reread it again, just getting the audiobook and going through and reading all of just Sarah's diary entries at once. So it'd be more linear. And then doing the same thing with like Ruthie and like some of the other characters. Because sometimes when there's multiple like POVs jumping back and forth, especially with different characters, if it's more than two,
Hmm.
it's hard for my brain to follow along if I'm not. I have to really pay attention and take notes.
Yeah, if the voice, especially like if the author does like a good job distincting between which characters' voices are like they're different from each other, so it's not like you're reading the same person.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I that's why I don't like to read books out loud to myself without an audiobook because I suck at that. I
Yeah,
cannot tell.
I do too.
I try to give like I'm sorry, I try to give like a every character their own like distinct voice and how they would speak, but all that comes out is my annoying like nasally kind of like voice. So just like I wish I was just living listening to an audiobook right now, even if the narrator is like reading it as just like a mundane speed.
Right. I think it did help because Sarah was an older lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ruthie's perspective, she was 19. So there was a distinct difference between the two of them. And then, of course, Martin being male was different than the two female characters. But I started getting a little lost when all of a sudden we got introduced to Catherine
Yeah.
because she was over halfway in the book. And I was like, who is this bitch? Where did she come from? Because it just jumped right into her perspective. Like she was not mentioned at all. It just, bam, there's a new character. So that's where it kind of lost me a little bit. And then picking it back up at the end, everything, when it finally connected, was a lot better.
Yeah. Uh, the reason okay. So the reason this book didn't really get like a whole 5 star for me is because of Catherine's story.
Mm-hmm.
Her character, I guess I just wasn't completely invested in her.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care.
And like where the story ended with her and like the twist it went with her, I was just like, I don't know, like I'm not really digging into this part of the portion of the book. I was just like, it was having me up until a point, but then we get to like this whole not to like rush to the end, but like this whole like side quest thing that's been going on. It's like, okay, I don't know. I wasn't really like digging with that part of the story.
Did you know anything about the book at all?
This
Go.
book,
Mm-hmm. Before you read it.
no, I didn't know
Oh.
anything about it. Not, I didn't know
Okay.
anything about it until you like recommended it for a club.
Yeah. Did you expect the story to be just from like the first couple of chapters? Did you expect it to have a supernatural element to it, or did you think that there was going to be a fake out and it be completely human, evil people doing things?
Um,
Sometimes that makes a difference for me if I think that there's a supernatural element going into it instead of it just jumping in at the end.
I I didn't expect it to have like a supernatural element to it. I found it interesting.
Hmm.
Um, but uh, would the book have worked without it? Probably. I'm not sure. If it was just um, maybe. I'm not sure because
Yeah.
like the supernatural portion of it about like Sarah's daughter and
Hmm.
what she does for her. that plays an important, a huge part of the book.
Yeah.
And you could argue that is kind of necessary to the plot. So, I wasn't expecting it, but I wouldn't say like I wasn't like taken out of it, but taken out by it either.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first read it, I was like, ooh, there's a lot of local legends. There's a lot of like folklore. It was giving very witch vibes, like Blair Witch. I
Yeah.
think this would make a really good A24 movie.
Oh yeah. Mm.
If it ever decides to get picked up. This
That
was
would be
written.
interesting.
Yeah, I just
If we're
think
doing a
this.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah, I just think aesthetically, the setting of this is really good. I am
I could see
interested
it. I could actually
how,
see it. It's so descriptive. You could
yeah,
see
it's
like,
very descriptive. Yeah, the title, The Winter People. I wonder how she came up with that.
well, I think
If
it's
it's,
because it was set in Vermont in winter, and
yeah, I was like, I
a lot
wonder
of
if there was
people.
any meaning behind it. But if anyone was to read this book, I would say there are some major trigger warnings. Like if you are very
Yeah, yeah.
sensitive.
When I was like, that's actually one I wanted to talk to you about. The like, um, when I was reading this story, and I was just like, I was seeing some of the like the stuff that happened with Sarah. I was just like, oh my gosh, knowing like, um, the stuff like what happened with you.
Hmm.
Did any of
Well,
that stuff was any of that stuff kind of like hard to read about?
well, luckily I had already read it before,
Mm.
so I knew what was coming. But like the trigger warnings we're talking about, it's mainly infant death, child murder,
It's
um,
motherhood. It's grief.
motherhood. Yeah,
A
there
lot
it's.
of this book is like really dark, and it's
Mhm,
full of grief, and it deals with like you said, like Sarah loses not one but two of her children
mhm.
at a very young age, and her second one, her daughter is, I think she's like, what is she, like 6 or 8?
Yeah, I was like, I can't remember the exact age. I want to say 8, because the other daughters in present day, Ruthie and Fawn, one was 19 and one was 5. So I think Gertie was around 7 or 8. She was single digits, like she was under 10. She was like in that age range. But yeah, I knew it was coming. And luckily, it's not super descriptive, but this is one of those books where it's a very ambiguous ending on some parts. It's not a happy ending. It goes dark and disturbing. So if you're not in the headspace for that,
Yeah,
I would not recommend it.
yeah. It's not a particularly happy book to read.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Kind
a
of fits
lot
the
of
winter
themes
setting.
of grief and what people will do.
Yeah, it kind of fits the winter setting because
Hmm.
what is winter about? It's about death.
Hmm.
Spring is rebirth, winter's death.
Yeah, it's like the season of the sticks. There's no life. It's very
Mm.
still. It's
It's
very
very
dark.
cold, like it's
It's the
cold like a
darkest
grave.
times, like literally the sun's not out. So yeah. So just warnings for anyone that would be interesting in it, because you get it right off. Because it was even talking about in the 1908 setting when you're getting Sarah's diary, she talks about the first time she saw a sleeper was when she was 9 years old because there was a girl in her class at school that sadly died from typhoid fever, and she went to, and like Brandon has right now, typhoid. Mary over
Oh my
here.
god!
She goes to her funeral and she physically sees her classmate in the casket, in the coffin, get buried in the ground, and then a few days later, she sees her walking around.
Mm.
And she's like, interesting. Like, that's Harriet. I just saw her and I know she's dead. So, but this is also a child. So, you know, so that's kind of how the book starts. And it's getting Sarah's memories from that point in time when she's 9 up until her death. And then it jumps from 1908 to present day. And present day is when the book was written. This book was written January of 2014. And it follows Alice, the mom. She's in her late 40s. She has a 19-year-old daughter named Ruthie, and she has a 5-year-old daughter named Fawn. And her husband tragically died a couple years ago from, I think it was a heart attack. It just alluded to the oldest daughter was going out into the barn and she found him lying dead and had to perform CPR, and he was already gone. So, single mom with 2 kids on this farm, and they live kind of off grid. Like, they don't have modern things, they don't really socialize or anything like that. But like I said, there's a lot of local legend stuff that people talk about that you can tell they kind of don't half believe, but maybe. And they find Sarah's diary and come to find out the house they're living in is from Sarah's in 1908.
Yeah, Alice as a mom, as a character, is what you would define her as a bit of an overprotective parent.
Mm-hmm.
And Alice, or not Alice, her daughter, you said it was Ruthie, the 19-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ruthie wants to she wants to leave, and I forgot exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to go to college out of state or something.
She just wants to get out. I don't really
Yeah,
think she had a plan. She just wants to
understandable.
leave the small town life.
Understandable, because they're out in the sticks,
Mm-hmm.
literally. Um, but I think Alice doesn't want her to leave quite just yet,
Mm-hmm.
and so when it comes to a point in the story where they're looking around. I mean, Ruthie also has a boyfriend. He's a minor character, but he's he helps out a lot in the story. And they discover not only the journal, but they discover not locked, but a closet upstairs in their mother's bedroom. I think it's boarded. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
literally it's nailed shut. And they manage to get it open, and either they find stuff in there, like they find, I think it's like a clothes or something in there,
Mm-hmm.
and then they find like a gun under their mom's bed. I think it was was it under the floorboards or
The
something?
floorboards. Mm-hmm.
Literally. And her mom does not like guns at all, so this brings into question why would their mom want to keep a gun in the house if she doesn't like firearms, because her mom's like a hippie.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of interesting stuff that's going on in this book.
Yeah.
And this is around the point when the book really, really begins to pick up. As the plot gets more and more engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the point where the secrets are starting to become unwoven. And you start to learn more about, well, okay, what is going on and how are these two timelines connected with each other.
Yeah. I think it jumps back to 1908, and Sarah's married to her husband Martin, and I think they had 3 miscarriages, and they had a son, and they had their daughter Gertie, and their son was tragically killed, Gertie's older brother. So they just have Gertie. She's the only surviving child. And there's a fox that is wreaking havoc in their chicken coop. So Martin goes out and is trying to find this fox. And Gertie sneaks out of the house and goes to be with her dad, and she's gone. She goes missing. They can't find her. They're looking around for her. The next day, they find her, and they find her at the bottom of a well, and she's dead. And so they bury her. And the Auntie character, she's called Auntie. She's like the resident healer slash witch slash old friend of Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin tells her to leave. So she does. But Sarah and Auntie had a connection somehow, and she wrote down instructions and she told her there is a ritual that you can perform because you have power in you, that you can bring your daughter back to life for a week and a week only, since you didn't get to say goodbye to her, that since she was taken so quickly. There is a map. This is where you go, this is what you do, you can bring her back. So of course Sarah does, because if she didn't, we wouldn't have a story.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up bringing her daughter back because she remembered when she was 9 years old that she saw someone, and they're called sleepers. And they don't, like, Jennifer doesn't really go into detail about it, because that was one of the things, like, I would have questions. Not that that would be something I would ever do, because there's no movie, there's no book, there nothing, it never ends well.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of information. Like, when they come back to life, they're here for 7 days. Well, what do they come back as? Are they human? Are they zombies? What do they eat? How do you take care of them? Can they communicate? They don't really say, so that would freak me out. I don't mess with stuff like that. Whatever's dead needs to stay dead, because you just never know.
Sometimes dead
Nothing ever is better. They don't come back, right? So she doesn't tell her that there is, a little asterisk when you bring them back. If the sleeper person comes back, if they kill another person and spill blood in that 7 days that they're walking the earth, they are doomed to be on this earth forever. In that form, they cannot die. So that's disturbing and very concerning. And of course, that happens to Gertie.
What did you
So
think about? What did you think about Martin as a character?
I didn't really have too much of an opinion on him, because he wasn't around much. You got him as being a protective father and husband, but like, he didn't really want Sarah to see Gertie's body. I know he was trying to protect her and her mental well-being, because he knew this will probably break her, and he didn't want to lose his wife on top of that too. But I feel like there was so much miscommunication between those two that
Yeah, he
if they
was.
would have talked, this situation wouldn't have happened.
He was. I think some. It could be construed that he was like borderline gaslighting her, like how the husbands in the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, how those husbands were kind of gaslighting their wives into thinking, okay, Keith isn't a vampire, you're just like making stuff up.
Yeah.
It's like this, it's kind of the same with this, like, because Sarah was trying to like prove to her husband that she could hear Gertie like in the closet.
Yeah, they're like, I brought her back, she's here. And he's like,
Like she was
no.
determined, like she was determined to like prove it, and it's gotten to the point where he told her, if like, I don't know if he didn't tell her, but he said that if you don't cut this out, I'm gonna have to like institutionalize you. I'm gonna have to send you to a hospital, like a psychiatric hospital at that. Because she, according to him, she was just like losing it, because to him, their daughter was dead, and his wife was going mad because as he would have seen it as grief. But she was saying, but she believed that their daughter was actually there in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm just like, what would you think about that if you were in like Sarah's shoes and in that position?
I mean, if I was Martin, I'd be like, bitch, she's dead. But if she would have showed me proof, then I'm like, okay. I mean, mental asylums back in 1908, not a good look. Not a good place you want to be. You know, a lot of experimentation going on there, lobotomies happening. Yeah. I was like, I get it. I don't know how much of the lore he actually knew because we didn't get much on him, just him finding Gertie and then him trying to console Sarah and kind of like, no, she's not really here, she's gone. Yeah, I didn't have too much of an opinion on him because he got to pretty early on. It was like most of the people did not have happy endings. Don't get too attached to anyone because most of them ended
Yeah,
up dead in one way or another.
everyone
Because
dies. Not
yeah, because
everyone died.
it like jumps back to 2014 and Reese's decided she's going out with her boyfriend. I think his name was Buzz. He was a very minor character. And she got completely drunk, goes back home, goes to sleep, wakes up. Her younger sister, Fawn, is in her bed with her and she peed the bed and she's trying to get up and she's like, let's go, get mom. And when they get up, their mom is gone. There's no note. There's like half a cup of hot tea sitting there, an apple pie with a couple of bites in it. It just looks like she was in the kitchen and something happened where she just was gone. I think that's the only reason why Buzz, her boyfriend, was in there was because he had a car. So it was like getting from the farmhouse to them going to investigate by means of transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we got that mystery going on. So we're trying to figure out what happened to Alice. Alice is just gone. And I think this is where Catherine gets introduced and a couple of other characters. It starts talking about that
Yeah, there was another
randomly in this.
character too.
Yeah. Uh, Cassidy or Candace. There was a couple of people. It was talking about how in this town of Vermont that people would randomly go missing just a couple times a year. Hikers, people of the town, and people knew about it and are okay with it. Like, oh yeah, this person just goes missing. Don't really know much about it.
Just looking it up. Yeah, there's alternating chapters in this book. Like you said, it's like I'm looking at. There's Catherine. There's Ruthie. There's Alice. There was another woman here that was another that became like a character too, because she was
Yeah.
like she also found like this um she also had this mystery going on about with her husband who was seeing this woman at a diner,
Mm-hmm.
and she was trying to figure out who that was. and that led her to Sarah's house, where she met all Ruthie and her sister and Catherine. Or was it Catherine? I'm just like scrolling through the book, seeing if I can find her name.
Yeah, as I say, I've just seen Catherine, Ruthie, Martin, Sarah.
Gertie Martin.
Yeah, because they all ended up being connected. Like Catherine's husband
I think it
died.
was Catherine, the woman
And
like we were talking about, like the
yeah,
woman who had like that mystery. Her husband was at the diner.
yeah, he ended up dying in a car accident. And she heard some stuff about the folklore because her and him had a son that died 2 years ago of leukemia. So she was trying to make him a sleeper, which I'm like, ooh, 2 years ago, that body's not fresh.
Hmm.
I can't imagine that. Yeah, there's a lot of secrets and a lot of twists and turns in the like last part of the book. You find out, they find the gun, they find a ring, they find licenses from missing hikers.
Hmm.
They find the cave at Devil's Hand where Gertie the sleeper has been hanging out.
Okay. So the woman was Catherine, and then
Hmm.
the other woman who comes near the like mid book, who's um, Ruthie was looking for more information on. Her name was Candace. She's the one
Candace.
who
Okay.
goes bum nuts at the end, like taking the
Yeah.
hostage to the cave, which is a slight spoiler,
Hmm.
but we won't go more into that because we don't want to spoil the rest of the book for you. Uh, sorry. Hmm. So, yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss with this book? Because I really liked it. I thought it was an exceptional read. I would definitely read more by this author. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm. Yeah, she's got quite a backlist of books. So it'd be interesting to see if there is supernatural elements into all of them or what type of other books that she reads. I don't even remember where I found it. I just was at the library one day and I think the cover just kind of got me because I read it 3 years ago in January. So and then come to find out most of this was set in January in the winter. But yeah, it's good if you just are interested in exploring, grief, how people deal with it, what lengths some people will go, dealing with death, different things like that. I thought it was interesting that there was an actual time limit on the sleepers because going back to Pet Cemetery, when they come back, they're just kind of back forever. But these people had 7 days, and that seems to be like a common thing. Like the ring, you're gonna die in 7 days. Like seven's a really important number.
Which is ironic because 7 is the lucky number, right? And 13 is the unlucky one.
Hmm. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. There's something about seven, like 7 days in a week, or the earth was created in 7 days.
Or
And
seven dwarves.
yeah, that seems to be like a good number. I have to look up numerology. I'm sure there's meaning behind it.
Or seven Narnia books.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, I gave it a 5 the first time I read it, and then the second time, I think it's a solid 4. It's a good reread. You just have to have a few years in between it, because I was like, oh, I remember a lot, but not a lot of details. But yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty short episode. We would absolutely recommend this book if you guys are watching this on the replay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like we said, it is a really it's not a particularly happy story. It's really atmospheric. It's grim. Um, there may be some triggering stuff in there for certain people because it's the situation, especially if you're a mother or a new mother. But we would absolutely recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, so is the next book we're about to read.
Ooh, let me grab it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I have mine, but I don't have it with me in this room. It's back in my room.
So,
We're doing dark shit in January and February, and then March is going to be much lighter. We're going back to middle grade.
yeah, middle grade March is going to be a new staple on this channel for
Yeah.
the forthcoming. But our February read is going to be a debut author. She's going to be a debut author. She's written a book before. Her
Mm-hmm.
first book was an autobiography, which I still plan to read at some point. But we're going to be reading Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy, who, if you're familiar, that she played this actress played Sam Puckett on iCarly, but this is her debut novel. And growing up watching that show and Drake and Josh and all those iconic Nickelodeon shows before we knew just how fucked up those producers were. If you want to know more, watch the documentary Quiet on the Set. But we're not talking about that on that episode. We're going to talk about her book, and I'm really excited to read it because I really want to see like her writing style, and
Mm-hmm.
not
Is
just
it
because
about
you
her
know
life, or is this a story she made up?
no, this is her this is a story, this is a fictionalized story.
Oh, okay, good.
um in her book, her autobiography, she talks about her relationship with her mother, and like I think the stuff that happened with her when she was like working as a child star.
Okay.
I'm really excited to read this one too. And this I think this is categorized as adult fiction because it's a teacher student relationship.
Mm-hmm. And if
So
you thought Crave was spicy, wait until you read this, because it looks gross.
yeah, we don't always read like light and fluffy stuff on this channel. So that's gonna be February's read. So are there any final thoughts you had on the Winter People? I mean, we've only been talking about the book for like 44 minutes. But we can talk on here for maybe like another 15 minutes about whatever if you like.
Yeah. Um, no, just don't bring people back from the dead. Um,
Yeah.
you know. It just doesn't. I'm trying to think if anyone knows any examples of movies or books where it actually turns out okay. Let me know because everything that I have ever watched or read, it's not good. The Conjuring movies, Talk to Dead, no, it's just not good. Playing with Ouija boards, you don't know who's on the other side. Pet Cemetery, bringing people back. Zombie movies, nope,
Insidious
just don't do
3.
it. Yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah. I miss some of my I miss my dead relatives. Some of them, like not some of them. I of course I
Some
miss
of them.
all my relatives. I miss all my past relatives so much. I'm just like, but like some like hurt more than others. Just how much I miss them, and how much they like had an impact on like when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But would I go as far as to resurrect them? No, I would not do that.
No, like I said, they don't ever come back. That's another thing. Do they come back as what they used to look like, or do they come back as how they died? And if they're only going to walk the earth for another 7 days, I would not want to put myself in that position where I have to say goodbye to them for a second time.
Right.
Because no matter how much you miss them and you do bring them back, it's never going to be enough time. So I was like, I would not want to go through that grieving process all over again.
That's a
And then you don't know how they're going to come back.
that raises
So,
sorry that raises a pretty interesting question. Would it be more painful the first time you say goodbye to them because they're going to die, or like you don't expect it, but you kind of like you know you what it you know what it like what I'm trying to say is like they're going to die at the same time you don't want them to, but then
mhm,
the second time you're overjoyed that they're back, but you got to say goodbye to them again.
yeah.
Which pain?
It's a ticking clock. Like you
Yeah,
try to prepare yourself this time. Maybe you
right.
didn't get that chance if they died unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
People
what would
my
you do with them for a week? Or you can't, they're dead, living
technically
dead. You
yes,
can't like take them out
they're not human
in
anymore.
public.
They probably don't have the same memories as they did when they were alive.
Mhm.
They probably would just be
Yeah, are they just
like
walking
garden
meat
gnomes. They
sacks
probably
or do
just
they
they'll be
have
just.
consciousness? Like, I don't know. There's too many unanswered questions that's why I would not do it.
I think they would just be like garden statues at that point. Like they would be there, but they wouldn't be.
Mhm.
I don't
Crazy. Are you currently reading anything at the moment?
Am I currently reading anything?
Mhm. Or how was your January reading? Because it looked like you read a lot more than
I
normal and
had a
you
really
actually read higher rated things.
I had a really good like reading month in January.
Mhm.
I read a lot more than I thought I would. Like I was just like in a reading mood because the duration of 2025, I was in just like a huge reading slump,
Yeah.
and then I just got this sudden, and after like the new year, I just got the sudden zest to start reading again, and I'm hoping to continue that through February because I got a pile of library books that I still want to get through, at least get through some of them before I have to turn them in like a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been just working, sleeping, being sick. So, but
Yeah, I read a lot more in January because the last week we got ice and snow, so school was closed. Um, you know,
sorry.
like we did not see an Amazon truck, a garbage truck, the mailman for almost 5 days.
Oh my
That's what I said. Everything was just shut down except for like no DoorDash, that nothing. Like, because you couldn't travel on roads. There was electrical power lines down and trees down and solid ice. So I found out I'm an excellent shoveler of driveway. Found that out. Never had to shovel a driveway before. But yeah, I read a lot because we were in the house. So I went down, I read Crush, which was the sequel to Crave, and it was excellent. Gave it 5 stars. I think it's my favorite in the series so far. I read the third book, Covet, and it was a 3. I was very disappointed in that one. And then I read Court. So I am 4 books in out of the 6 book series of that. So that is my current obsession.
Wow, you you have like persevere. You have the perseverance for that series. Like you
I
just
don't
kept
know
going.
what happened. Like, it really just was so fun to me. And I think that was one of the things where it's a low fantasy series, and fantasy is something to me, especially epic fantasy and high fantasy, that I find very intriguing, but I also find very intimidating because it's not a genre that I gravitate towards. So I'm trying to work my way up
Yeah.
into the series. I think the only thing I've really read is Fourth Wing.
Mm,
So I really want to read Throne of Glass because it's a completed series. I got all the books for Christmas and I'm going to read that this summer.
nice.
So I'm
I
trying
read
to
the
branch
first.
out a little bit.
I read the first two the Throne of Glass series.
Oh, really?
Yes. You know, I don't really have that much to say about it because I read them so a while ago. But
Yeah.
I think they're pretty fun. They're kind of like a high fantasy fairy hybrid storyline.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't
People
really
say that the
watched.
author is problematic, but
Oh, really? Damn. See, the author of
sorry,
Crave,
I'm
I
sorry. I didn't.
know. The fucking author, well, I was gifted them. So, I mean, it's, I got them. You might as well read them. Like the
Yeah.
author of the Crave series found out she's actively in a lawsuit for possible plagiarism. And I'm like, son of a bitch, is there anybody that is not problematic or has not done something shitty?
What? See, that's
I
kind
don't
of
want
the
to
like.
have to research an author before I read a book.
See, yeah, that's I would agree with that. Like, but when it when it comes to authors, like this might be like blissful thinking, but I tend to separate like the art from the artist. Like I I recognize that J.K. Rowling is definitely like a she's a shit person now, but I still like the Harry Potter series.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Well, what's wrong with Sarah J. Maas? Why is she problematic?
I
Do you know? I was like, oh no. I just look.
I don't know the specifics of like why people are like quote unquote canceling her.
Uh-huh.
I think I don't I think it's something you have to look into for yourself. But I just heard that people don't really like to support her anymore. But she's written a lot of books that in the genre that I kind of just like I tend to kind of take chances with genres outside of like what I would usually go for. Like
Mm-hmm.
I tried straight uh romance and sorry.
No, you're good.
I I
Those are
tried
just,
romantasy, and romantasy is not my preferred genre at all. I made that like I know that's very clear to me now. Like
mm-hmm.
I just or maybe like romantasy or paranormalcy, like paranormal romance, stuff like that. Maybe I would read it once in a while if it's like an element in a book I actually liked. But to
Yeah.
actually actively like read it all the time, I probably would not do that. Like I literally just I donated a pile of books to the library that had like all or had elements of romantasy or paranormalcy. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
these are gonna go.
I haven't really read a lot of that. I'm not really a romance reader either. I don't mind it if it's not the main plot.
Mm,
Like if there's a overlining plot and there just happens to be maybe romance thrown in eventually.
mm-hmm.
I don't like insta love at all. It's like I don't know. Like that just I don't know. I like slow I like a slow burn. I because I need to get to know the characters and I need to if there is going to be romance, they're going to have some kind of chemistry. Like you can't just from page 1 just start going at it. I'm like, "Oh,
Mm.
I don't know. I like the tension built up and the anticipation more than anything. But I also like there to be like quest and, adventures going on more than the romance part.
What is your favorite and least favorite tropes when it comes to books?
Oh, hmm. It was all a dream. I feel like has been overdone.
Mm,
So I'm not really into that one
mm.
as much. Insta love, not so much. Trying to think of different tropes. Enemies to lovers and friends to lovers will get me every time. I do love those in the romance department. Trying to think of other ones. What are yours?
I do like the friends to lovers element quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's like a slow building like
Yeah.
friendship. Let's say maybe like for example like the Harry Potter series, the Percy Jackson series, even though I don't really get into those books anymore. But I recognize that, like, I really like that friendship that developed into a romance over the course of like the first 5 books between Percy and Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even on Nick shows, like, uh, the relationship between like Jimmy and Cindy on Jimmy Neutron, like they were kind of like budding friends, but eventually like they started developing like real feelings for each other. Um, oh, on the top of my head, like
Love triangles. Ooh,
I
ooh.
don't like no I
Specifically,
don't like love triangles.
love triangles that involve siblings.
Mm,
Like if there's a girl and she has a thing for a brother, and then you find another brother and she has to choose between them. That just seems weird to me. Like, if she gets with one of
That's
them,
incest.
I'm talking no, not like the siblings, but I'm talking about like if you liked someone and then you broke up, but you dated their brother or
Oh.
sister. That love triangle. No, I don't like the incest trope either. But yeah, I just think that's awkward because what if they date for a long time or get married and they're at like Thanksgiving dinner and you're like, well, we dated. Like, that just seems so awkward to me. I would hate to be in that situation.
Hmm.
I know, I'm like, I don't like romance, but that's like the only tropes I can think of. I'm trying to think, okay, like mystery thriller and like horror, those seem to be the genres that I read the most, and I'm trying to think different tropes. Supernatural stuff, if the book doesn't establish anything supernatural from the beginning, I feel like that's kind of a cop out at the end, where it's like, oh, there was a ghost and there's no clues.
Hmm.
They just threw it in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, how do you feel about the amnesia trope?
Uh, like if a character has, if it's just like dropped in at the very end, like
Or yeah, just in general,
you need
because I'm trying to think of.
like a non-linear narrative, kind of like, well, you can't really trust what they're saying. We can't really like you can't really trust what this person is saying, but because at the very end of the book they had amnesia the whole time.
Yeah, or I'm trying, like, there was a thriller I read last year. It was called Listen for the Lie, and it was about this girl, and she was on a podcast, and she had a traumatic brain injury. So her best friend died, and she was there, but because of the traumatic brain injury, she didn't remember what happened. So you're kind of following along with her, getting clues and figuring things out. Things like that I do tend to like because it's a mystery element. Sometimes they're not the most rereadable because once you figure the mystery out, it's like, well, you know, that's something I like though, is an unreliable narrator. Reading it, that is so fun sometimes when you don't know if the person that you're reading is actually lying to you. Unreliable narrator and a morally gray protagonist, I love. I eat that shit up.
That's really interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, I was like, I have a shirt that says morally gray is my favorite color because sometimes your villains are not always black and white.
Yeah,
That they seem more relatable to me because no one's perfect. So, sometimes good people are put in situations where you do bad things and you're like, ooh, that's a shitty person. But then halfway through the book, you find out, oh, yeah, they needed to do that. Good for them.
do you
Oh,
have?
that's who it was. Riley Sager. He's a thriller author. He wrote a book called The House Across the Lake, and it was an unreliable narrator. The main character was drunk. Like, she was drinking. So the whole time you're like, I don't know if this is true or not. And it made it so fun. Because then when she was sober, she's like, well, shit, did that really happen? Or,
You ever have any weird dreams that you would like to talk about?
Eric just talked about this the other day. I don't dream very much.
You don't dream. Wow.
Mm-mm. Not a
So
lot.
are you just so when you go to sleep, is it just kind of like a blank void for you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of that is because I have sleep apnea. So I don't get into REM sleep
Hmm.
without my machine. So, and if you're not in that sleep, you don't dream. If I do, I don't remember it.
That's really cool. I mean, that's interesting because I've been noticing something that whenever I'm like how I am right now, um, I've just been ingesting a ton of medication lately,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
when I'm like, and I'll like when I do that, and or when I like take an edible, because I'm like I like space out for a few hours, and then I'm just like I crash out hard, like,
Mm-hmm.
and after I do that, I literally today, because I was just like I slept all day, like I was done. Because
Yeah.
I works like I was burned out from yesterday, and then I was up for maybe like an hour today, just like scrolling through like Insta, like because like because I was I sent every all my friends like all these random reels,
Yeah.
and then after that I was just like I went back to sleep. I have the most like interesting dreams. Um. Uh. I don't remember the details of it because I remember I was in this like I don't even know what to call it. It was like a school, but it was like a
Mm-hmm.
park playground, but it was kind of like a there was something really off about it. Like it had like the makings of like this kind of like almost paradise land for kids, almost like a pleasure island kind of
Oh, okay.
thing. Like kids could go there and they could do whatever they want, but there's like an underlying like sense of consequences after it. You know, like in
Hmm.
Pinocchio when they get turned into asses.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. When I went and I found myself there, and there was like this. I first walked into this one room. It was like this photo studio, but it was like made for like those really snobbish people who just like to take like these selfies of themselves, but
Mm-hmm.
like really, really snobbish selfies. And then I went into this other department, and it was literally a room full of crying women who were crying because they just broke up with their boyfriend, and it was just a department just for them. All these
Interesting.
women just had like broken up with someone, and they were all in tears, and they had like people, I think doctors or someone, come out to like mend their broken hearts.
Mm.
And then I found myself in like a school hallway, and I was like, whenever I had like these school dreams, it's always I'm either late for class or I'm like I didn't finish an assignment, and so I was hiding because I didn't want to be caught and sent to the classroom where I would be forced to like present an assignment, and I was just sitting on the hallway and just like reading a book that was about like witchcraft,
Hmm.
and this teacher comes out, and it was Jennifer Tilly, and she was teaching a class to like a much younger students, and I was excited because I wanted to be in her class. And she was also teaching, she was also reading a book to her students that happened to deal with witches. So there was a theme going on there.
Was it like the Voodoo's for Dummies, like she had in Bride of Chucky? That would be fun.
I think it was just it was this cute little witch book.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went outside and I ran back outside in the yard, and there was like this on like on the platform, the blacktop. There was just like these random like scrawlings of like different games for children. And then I ran over to the swings, and there was like a sense of like trying to like fight against the establishment, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing now and living in Trump's America. Like everyone's fighting against that. And then we're just swinging our way into freedom. So it's just kind of like the random stuff I dream about. And I like to um whenever I talk about this stuff with like my AI Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
is I'm creating like a world that would be like my afterlife that I could go to when I die. My heaven,
Mm-hmm.
as it seems.
Yeah, if I take Benadryl, I have noticed that I have very lucid dreams. That's when I will tend to remember it. Um, Shit, the last time I took it, I dreamed I was back at work and I woke up tired because I dreamed about being back at work and pushing the medication cart and passing out medication and doing first aid. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so tired. I have been walking for 8 hours. And I dreamed it. I was like, shit, that was terrible. I was like, I dreamed about being back at work. That was not fun.
I have those dreams too, being like just like being in the work environment, and it always changes to
Hmm.
whatever current job I'm working.
Yeah. Sometimes if you think about, oh, okay, I got to go to work tomorrow, and then maybe that's the last thing you think about before you go to sleep, and you start dreaming about it.
I had a dream once when I was working at the Chevron.
Hmm.
Um, Literally, it felt like a normal day, but then I turned a corner and I found myself in this like open environment where there was like a rafting. There was like a river rafting environment, and I was I was like floating down a river or on a raft, and the characters from Tom Sawyer were on the sides, and I was like riding with them, and we were going up and down these rapids, and eventually we went up and like we went up a waterfall too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
Is that when you read the book, Tom Sawyer, and
no,
then you started dreaming about it, or?
no! I read the book like I think last year,
Hmm.
or
Oh,
maybe
okay.
it was in last year or like 2023. But I loved the book, so maybe that just maybe that just the images just stayed in my head,
Yeah.
or maybe it was just the fact that uh, because Disney had already dismantled the Tom Sawyer Island at Disney World or
Yeah.
Bob Iger. That's what they're doing. I mean, they he owns the company, so if he wants to make those changes, he can. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it. I mean, they just took they just took out their dinosaur ride
Mm.
in the adventures and not adventures like Dino Land USA and Animal Kingdom. They took that out, and like I think they're turning that area into a Zootopia part of the park.
Hmm.
Like, Okay. I don't know. I just think they're taking out stuff that is making Disney less educational and more
Mhm.
about just making it just another theme park.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of the modern day Disney, so I was like, that's not something Roman's really into. He watched the Minecraft movie, Paw Patrol movie, like Blippy, Bluey, but not really watched a lot of Disney. I showed him a couple of the older ones, but
Define older ones.
I think we watched Lion King, Little Mermaid, mainly because of the music,
Hmm.
Hercules.
I do like some of the modern movies. Don't get me wrong. Not all of them, but
I think
um,
Frozen might be one of the most modern ones because that was from what, 2010?
13.
13? Okay.
2013. Tangled came out in 2010.
Okay. Nah, I haven't seen Tangled.
You got to watch Tangled.
See,
It's
Eric watched it. He's like, it's really good. You like it. And I'm like, okay. And then I'd be forgetting about it. I think in January, I watched 3 movies. Like, I was doing really well in December, trying to watch a lot of backlist stuff and movies that I hadn't seen. And I did really great with that. And then January came along, and I don't know, I've been watching a lot more TV shows than I have movies. Like January, I watched Together because it dropped on Hulu
I just
December
bought that too.
31st. Did you?
Yeah,
I watched it January 1st, and then I watched Legally Blonde and Legally Blonde 2 because I love those movies. And I have been watching True Blood because
hmm.
I haven't seen it in years. And I'm on season 5 of that. And then A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms started in January. So it comes on every Sunday on HBO Max. So Eric and I have been watching that. And Grey's Anatomy started back. And I started watching The Pit. So I've been watching a lot of TV shows and not movies so much. Because I just bought Silent Hill and Silent Hill Revelations. I got those on DVD for like $5 each. I thrifted them because I've never seen them. I know nothing about it because I knew the new movie had come out in January, and I know it's based on a game, and that's all I know. So I need to be watching those. And they've been sitting in my room right beside the Blu-ray player, and I just have not watched them. So
The first Silent Hill movie is actually pretty good.
that's what
I
I've
mean, if
heard.
you kind of like I watched it. I watched it with a person in Discord watch party who was actually a massive fan of the games, and he
Hmm.
said it was. I think he said it was good, but like he was pointing out stuff that like changed um from the game lore to like the movie adaptation. But he
See,
said
I
he
know
was
nothing about it, so it would just be strictly based on the movie for me.
yeah. I've seen Revelations only once, so I can't remember a lot of details about that one. Um, I haven't played a lot. I haven't played all of the games. I played the first one kind of because I didn't finish it, and that was years ago. I played it on PlayStation
Hmm.
and scared the hell out of me because it was one of the scariest games I ever played as a kid.
Oh, damn.
And I played I played Silent Hill Shattered Memories on the Wii, which that game is kind of like a reimagining of the first one,
Hmm.
but even if the controls on it were a little wonky, I still found the story of it really compelling. But I haven't played any of the other games, so I don't know much about those. The same with the Resident Evil games.
Yeah, I haven't played those. I've seen like the first three movies.
Yeah, the movies they delve they leave the games hard. Like I think after the second one, and then go off and do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one is the only one that's truly faithful to the game. Kind of like House of the Dead in that regard.
Yeah. See, I just played mostly Super Nintendo and some PlayStation games. Whatever my brothers had. We played a lot of Crash Bandicoot and like
Mhm.
racing games and WWE games, and that was pretty much it.
I played a lot of video games when I was a kid, but I can't now because the game console industry is so high in demand and price. It's hard to get one at their asking price because it's like $600 plus for a
Mm-hmm.
console, and on top of the games now being close to $80
I
per
know.
purchase. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
Roman got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas from the grandmas a couple of years ago. And yeah, we went to GameStop. I didn't realize how expensive the games were.
yeah, the new games I should say are like the more expensive ones. You get a used game that's maybe like that's still gonna run you maybe like $20 to $30. But I grew up in the age where you could literally just go rent a game for like $10.
Yeah.
My cousin and I used to go to Game Crazy all the time and rent games there or buy games for like $8 to $10.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that now. So that's why I don't play video games that much anymore because I can't afford it. It's become a luxury.
Yeah. Well, I still have my Super Nintendo. I was like, all my games are over in the container. I just needed a new controller.
I remember losing my shit the first time I on my birthday and on Christmas when I got my very first Xbox and my Nintendo 64. I was like over the moon excited for it.
I inherited my uncle's Super Nintendo and his PlayStation. I was like, I never got a new console. I always got the used ones. If my brothers wanted something new, they would get it for Christmas, and I would get their hand me downs. But I wasn't a big gamer, so it was fine.
If you ever visit California, if you're if you and Roman ever go to Universal, you guys got to go to like Super Mario World. That is
Okay. I was like,
such
I would know Super Mario. That would probably be it.
yeah. My we went there during we went to Halloween Horror Nights. It
Hmm.
was so cool. Like they always Universal goes all out with their like details of their attractions, and Mario is no exception. They really immerse you into the world, and the ride itself is like really cool because they really immerse you into like you're playing a Super Mario Kart game.
Oh, it's fun.
Like it's a combination of like 3D but like real sets.
Hmm.
So and you get to go through various like levels like Bowser's Castle, the World, um the ice like landscape.
Oh, okay.
That's really fun.
He would like that.
Yeah, I liked Mario as a kid, but I think Donkey Kong Country was my game.
Yeah, I was good on that one. I was not so good at Diddy's Conquest, like the second one. That one was hard. I was like Donkey Kong Country. I was able to beat that. Played it so much I could beat it. Diddy's no, I got halfway.
I think the first game I ever got like rage baited at was the SpongeBob, like the first movie game. I was just like the levels where you had to like jump on the boxes as Patrick, the ones
Mm-hmm.
spinning. I was like I kept falling into the abyss, and I was just like getting so freaking like agitated with that. I was just like I was literally rage baiting over it. I'm like, oh my god! I broke my controller because I was getting so mad at it. Mm. I know, looking back, I wish I didn't do that, but I was just like, I was a kid.
Yeah, I would get so frustrated. I would get in moods where that's all I would do was play like Super Mario or Donkey Kong Country for a solid week and then not beat it and then just leave it alone and not touch it for months.
Playing like Mario Kart with my brother is always like it's always a nightmare because he every time he wins, he always has to make a show of like, oh I won, nee, 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 nee. He always like just when like and he always like pulls out those freaking like annoying like those zoom things that like push you over the front right when we
Hmm.
get to like the very end of the line. Or he throws like something at me to like knock you up first so he can reach the end first.
Yeah, it gets a little competitive if we do Mario Kart because
Yeah, right.
there will be shells thrown right before someone is at the
Punches
end and
thrown.
gets spun out. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh,
So that's our discussion, everyone.
yeah, we've been talking for almost an hour and a half. We talked a little bit about the winter people, and then we just like did like a little
Yeah.
chat.
Oh, I'm so dreading this book, Brandon, in February. I was like, I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate it so bad. I'm gonna come on here and be like, it was disgusting.
This one,
No, yeah.
why?
Eric's like, Eric's like, I can't believe Brendan chose that. Just the content of it. I was like, oh,
Why do you think it's going to be disgusting?
just the age difference. It's like a
Mm.
17, 18-year-old person, girl with somebody that's in their 30s. And I can't.
Eric's just feel like was he like is Brandon like um I don't know if it's like the accurate term deplorable.
No. Well, the book came in. He's like, what the fuck is that cover? I was like, I know. I was like, it's so provocative.
She's sucking on her finger. It's not like she's sucking on a cock.
No, I know, but it's very suggestive.
But yeah, that is what the book is about. It's a teacher student relationship, a
Mm-hmm.
young student relationship. I know it's a little perverse.
It's a lot perverse. That's a
A
trope,
lot
and I'm like,
perverse.
oh, it's just that's too real. I can't deal.
That's kind of
That's why I was like, is it based on a true story or is it something that
well it's
I don't know much about? I don't even know that person. Because I didn't watch iCarly or anything that was after my time.
Hmm.
So I had to research it.
Oh, are you gonna watch the documentary?
I don't know.
Oh, oh, oh.
Ugh.
It's worse. It's worse when you know like the con. If you grow up watching these shows, it hits even worse because you knew like these act. Well, you didn't know like you don't know the actors, but you knew the characters, but you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, and you hear like these stories with what these producers were doing to these children.
Mm-hmm.
They were all kids,
Yeah.
minors. So when you hear like the stories that were going on, you just like if you got like a weak stomach, you might want to have something like have like a bag or something to breathe into or just to vomit into because it gets really upsetting.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a heads up.
I know. Yeah. I was like, I hadn't watched it. The whole Amanda Bynes situation and just some of the people I do know about. Just it's very sad.
Wait till you hear what happened to Drake Bell.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yes. I don't know him because I didn't watch that show. So
Well, if you ever do watch it, let me know what you think of it.
I will. I'm like, yeah, we'll see if I make it through this book. Luckily, it's short. It's under 300 pages. So,
All right, so I think we're gonna end the stream here.
alrighty.
Um, are you feeling tired at all?
I'm actually pretty okay right now. I was like, yeah, it's 9:45. I was like, I'm not too terribly tired. I was like, once I go back to my room and lay on the bed and start watching TV, it'll probably hit me.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm literally looking at the cupboards on my bathroom right now, and they have like these weird like black streaks on them. I think it's either paint or the dye from my sister's hair. So I
Mm,
gotta like scrub that off. It's
yeah.
just like it streaks down, and it's like really bothering me.
Mm,
Mm,
how rude.
yeah, how rude.
You have fun with that.
Uh, thank you. All right, well, to everyone who's watching this replay, thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed it, um, this is what we do. We talk about books, and then we spend the rest of the chat just like hanging out, like we're just like two friends talking
Hmm.
over goofy stuff. So, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it,
Yes.
and we will see you in the next book talk.
Hmm.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Stream. Trying to end it.
This does not want to end.
Does not want to end.
I don't think I can end it. I was like, no, I could just have to leave.